Hey YouTube, my name is Evel Rojas and I am deciding to make this channel for the sole purpose of my weight loss journey. I want to lose 200 pounds at least. I know that I have to lose, I think, a little bit more because, I'm extremely obese. And nothing, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about who I am, where I come from, and what led me to this state right now. So, I come from Puerto Rico. I was born and raised over there on the island. And I was raised by my grandfather from my father's side and his wife, which is my mom's aunt. Yeah, that happened. My step grandmother, she literally was morbidly obese. She weighed over 600 pounds. I'm not sure how exactly the weight, but she was around there. She was really obese. It was hard because I ended up doing almost everything for this person. I was a kid. I was 5. I remember when I was 5 years old, I had to start helping her in everything, wash clothes, cook, because she couldn't do anything. All she did was, sit around in a bucket and watch me do all the chores. And since my grandfather was already, elderly, because my grandfather was like, I guess 67, around there, somewhere around there. I don't remember, but he was, he was old, and she was, in her 30s, mid 30s. She used to sit around in a bucket, do everything in that bucket, sitting down, and every time she wanted to move, she would just scoot herself sitting down in the bucket. So my grandfather used to get Social Security benefits, and every time we would go and do grocery shoppings, I should say that 75% of the groceries was chips, sodas. I remember that every time we used to go to downtown to do the grocery shopping, she would buy, like I said, chips, Ruffles, Snickers bar, the baby ones, any kind of candy that you will find in the grocery store, we had it in the cart. Like literally like 2 carts of just, mainly munchies, crackers, you name it. You name it. So, and we barely got stuff like for us to cook for dinner because my grandfather used to have like a garden, and he would just plant tomatoes and get, a lot of stuff that we, us Puerto Ricans eat. But we did got, meat and stuff like that. Especially rice and beans, that we Puerto Ricans eat a lot of that stuff too. So, in other words, my diet was not the best diet when I was a kid growing up. So we would eat a lot during the day, but I was not allowed to eat a lot of candies, but she was allowed to eat the candies in front of me, and I would just watch. And then at nighttime, I remember I used to go to sleep, and then I used to hear my grandfather going to the kitchen, bringing her a bag of chips, and they would just, she would just watch TV in the room and then eat all her munchies throughout the night. And, I was raised thinking that that was something normal, the way that she used to eat. So I caught up on her habits as well. And then when a lot of stuff happened, that my grandfather ended up passing away when I was 12 years old, and then my aunt took over. Um, I still, was eating crazy because, to be honest, my whole family, none of them, not even from my grandfather, my father's side or my mom's side, all of them, are obese, or they're not in shape, or they just don't care about, being healthy. So when my aunt took over, I was still eating, rice and beans. Everything was fried, sodas, everything, But I mean, not as bad as when I was a child. But when I turned 14, I started to notice that my stomach was hanging. Like literally, I had so much fat on my tummy that it was already, collapsing. So I think that's when I started to notice that, I'm gaining weight. That's when I started to, get get that sign that, what really was happening in my body. So, oh, and also I used to remember that my step grandmother used to tell me a lot. Oh, you're gonna gain. You keep eating like this, you're gonna gain weight. Blah blah blah. But she never, she never did anything to change it. She used to buy a whole bunch of stuff. She even ended up being a person, patient of depression. So that's another thing. And she just really didn't care about her well-being. And I never saw her wanting to change, and everything for her had to be done. I lived with my aunt during 12 years old until 22 years old. And at 22, when I moved out of the house with my boyfriend, I noticed that I was extremely obese. Let's say maybe 280, almost 300 pounds, around there. And I think I did manage to lose a little bit of weight, but then I gained it back because my problem is that I constantly want to eat fatty foods like chips, like, like my step grandmother used to do. I have her same habits. I used to, eat mainly at night. At night is when I love to eat munchies. That's my thing. So I struggled, all those years until I was 29, 28. Let's say 30, around there. So, I know that I started, getting a little hang of I want to lose weight. So I did. I managed to, okay, and my heaviest, I think it was 312 by that when I was 30, 312, 320. Let's say 330, putting it around there, maybe. So I started, changing my habits of eating. I started counting calories. I started drinking water, no sodas, no candies, no cheat days, because I felt like if I had a cheat day, I was going to continue, the cheat day, and I was going to fail my goal. So I decided to continue, doing what I had to do. Even though I was working by that time on, I think it was Checkers, something like that. I used to go walking. Oh, by the way, I was living in Florida, Kissimmee, Florida by that time. So I was working in Checkers, and the restaurant was, let's say, 45 minutes walking to work. So I didn't mind, walking to work. I didn't want to take no bus because I'm scared of, buses. I'm scared of getting on a bus and getting lost. I don't know. I just don't ask me why. I just hate taking public transportation because I'm afraid of, getting on a bus and not knowing where to stop or when to stop and get lost. So I just if I if they give me the choice to walk, I'll just walk it out. Forget it. I don't want to live with that, horror story where I get lost. So I used to go to work. And then when I used to get out, my husband would pick me up. It was really hard, extremely hard to work around, the restaurant because everything was good. Sandwiches. I did eat sandwiches in there, but what I usually used to eat was um a little burger with a lot of lettuce, a little bit of ketchup, and cheese and onions, purple onion, and a cup of water. That's all I, did. And I had the Fitbit app, which helped me count the calories. So my goal was 2,000 calories per day. And I managed to lose around 60 pounds. And I was feeling great. Everything was great. Everything was, I felt I could eat the world. Honestly, I felt like I could go out and do anything I wanted it. I even signed up for a gym that ended up shutting down, sadly. And I used to be terrified of going to a gym, but I got used to it, got comfortable because I'm a type of person that I don't like to go out as much because I have social anxiety. I don't like people looking at me, and that's a whole different video. Excuse me if I'm doing like this, just that. That's how I am. So I used to go to the gym and all that stuff, working out. Then I ended up signing up for oh my God, what's the name of it? Another brain fart. Oh my God, I forgot. Anyways, I signed up for another gym and I kept continuing, lifting weight. Ended up losing weight, and I was doing great. My mental health was, bomb. Like I felt so good, so proud about, my body. At the beginning it was hard because, getting used to, and, this right here, your mind is, like, I'm gonna say like this, you are your worst enemy. Because my mind just wanted to eat. Or when I used to stand up in front of the mirror, all I was thinking was like, damn, I look so ugly. I look so fat. I look so disgusting. I'm not seeing no progress. I still look the same. Even though I used to take pictures and compare them and, see with my own eyes that I was changing, I still was not, happy with myself at the beginning. But then, after I lost, let's say maybe 40 pounds, I was like, whoa, I'm doing it. I'm making it through. So, after I, after I think it was 2017 came around. Um, I signed up for college because I wanted to, better my education. I had a new job. I changed from Checkers to Pollo Tropical because Checkers was not paying me. They were still paying me minimum wage, and I was doing manager position, and they didn't want to give me a raise or anything. So I was like, forget it. Excuse me, I have a mosquito bite right here. And it itches like crazy. I'm like sweets for the mosquitoes. So if anybody else is sweets for the mosquito, I feel you. So after I changed job and was doing no good in college, it was around February that I started this new job and this college and everything. So when March came around, my birthday, my 30th birthday, that's when I decided to take a little break from everything. Cheated, went eating, drank a couple of Four Locos, Strawberritas. I went crazy, and I had a good time. So I should say like 2 weeks later, after my birthday, I started feeling a little bit sick. I started to feel this weird flavor in my mouth, and I was feeling extremely, extremely tired. So I was like, what the heck is going on with my body? It was just something crazy. I'm telling you, I don't even have no explanation on how weird it felt. So April came around and I was still feeling worse, like way worse. I was still feeling that metallic flavor. I was sleeping like crazy, like literally I used to get out of work at 2 o'clock in the morning, drive. I used to work in Orlando, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. Taking a training somewhere far from Kissimmee. It was like 2-hour drive to go and 2-hour drive to come back. And then I used to get home at 4 o'clock in the morning. It was just for the training. They were going to transfer me to Kissimmee after, I was done with the training. So once I went home, I just take a shower and go to sleep. Like I didn't have time for nothing. Even my days off, I just, I started slacking in classes. I was doing so great in the beginning. I was like literally getting straight A's because, when I go to school, I like to take things seriously, and, I'm paying for that. So I started slacking and just went straight to sleep. I couldn't stay awake. I turned the laptop and I was like falling asleep. And then I decided to comment that with my husband. I was like, whoa, I'm feeling so tired. Like, I don't understand what the heck is wrong with me. I feel sick. I'm freaking tired all the time. I can't even do anything because I'm just sleeping. I was like, I think I'm sick. I think I have my iron levels extremely low. And then after that same week, I remember when I got out of work, I was crying. I was crying because I was feeling tired. I didn't know what the heck is going on in my body. I was like, oh my God, if this is how my 30s is going to be, I don't want to imagine me in my 40s. What the heck? And, me thinking. So once I managed to get home that day from work, I went to sleep, And I started dreaming that I was giving birth to two babies. But one of the babies, when I gave birth to the two babies, they only gave me one of the babies to me, one of the babies. So I remember I was like giving birth, they gave me one of the babies, and that baby was male, was a male baby, was a little boy. And I was so happy with that baby, and I was like, oh my God, like mothers get when they have their newborns. And then I just woke up out of that dream. I was like, what the hell? And then something clicked, like, I don't know, some weird shit that it's so weird for me to explain. Something like clicked inside of me, and it like was telling me to do a test, a pregnancy test. I was like, what the hell? What the hell? So, mind you, I've been with my partner. By that time, I was 7 years already, and we never managed to have kids. So I forgot about that. I forgot. I just gave up on that idea of having kids since I was so many years without having kids with him. So I didn't pay no mind to it. I decided to, 2018 is going to be my year. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get this job. I'm going to keep losing weight. I'm going to be skinny as hell, blah, blah, blah. All these goals that I had. Having a baby was not not part of it. I was not thinking of that. So I did the pregnancy test, and I remember I was sitting in the toilet, waiting for that thing. Because I found the pregnancy test. I remember I had a pregnancy test. It had been in my drawer for a long time. Like, it was there. So I took it and I, tested, and I was just sitting in that toilet. I was like, nah, it can't. It has to be my imagination. I'm just, stressed and something's going on. So when I saw the positive, I could not believe it. It turned out that I was pregnant. I was like, but how? I had this wrong idea that when you're pregnant, you automatically have nausea. And I had these weird symptoms. Like, I only had this metallic flavor in my mouth. I didn't have no nausea. All I had was that metallic flavor in my mouth, and I wanted to sleep all freaking day. That's it. That's all I had. I didn't go through the morning sickness crap that, basically almost every female goes through. I didn't have none of that, And another thing I had was really bad headaches. That's another thing I had, really bad headaches. And turned out it was positive. So I went through the pregnancy just fine. Everything was just fine. But, being pregnant, I decided to stop completely my weight loss journey, which was a big mistake. But, I decided to, I don't know. I just got carried away eating my heart's content. And I regret it. Because it gave me problems with high blood pressure. At 37 weeks, my son had to be born through a C-section because my blood pressure was out of control. So after my son was born, I never went back to losing weight. I continued to gain weight. I started my journey on June. And it has been ups and downs. The highest I've been so far is 386. 387. You know, when I got on that scale, I bought a scale, I remember, before starting this weight loss. I bought a scale, and turns out the scale kept giving me error. I was like, what the hell's wrong with this scale? And when I checked the box, it said that the maximum weight was 350. And I was like, oh my God, don't tell me I am like, I gained like the 60 pounds that I lost plus, you know, a couple of more pounds more. I was like, wow. So I bought a smart scale. And it turns out that I was 387. You know, I was hitting almost the 400 pounds. And that made me so depressed because I was like, wow, all this hard work that I did. I went to gyms. I, got out of my comfort zone going to a gym where everybody, because I feel like if I went to a gym, everybody's going to judge me. Oh, look at this fatty in here. And, it was all the opposite. All the opposite. Nobody cares. Nobody really gives a damn. If you go to the gym, if you're scared to the gym, trust me, nobody gives a damn. Just go do what you got to do. Nobody cares. I mean, right now, COVID, be careful if you're going to go. But, back in those times, I was like, wow. Now it's hard for me to go up the steps. It's hard for me to even tie or even getting dressed. I'm in that point where, like my stepmother, she used to sit down all the time. She used to do everything sitting down, and I don't want to be that. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to get to that level. So that's why I created this channel. I also have a Instagram page, Losing 200, because I want to do it. I want to do a forever change. I want to stop being like this. I want to stop talking like I'm running, because I talk like I'm out of breath all the time, which is, I have so much, fat around here that it prevents me from breathing, properly. And I just want to hold myself accountable as well, because I have a son. And I do not want him to go, I don't want him to go through the same, life I had. I definitely don't want to, make my son do everything for me. I really, he deserves to be a kid, he's a kid. And I want to be able to fit in my clothes. Even though this is like a 3X, I barely fit on clothes. I want to be able to go up the steps without running out of breath. I want to be able to, fit comfortably in a toilet. And I'm sorry if it's, too much information, but, I'm saying it how it is, how it's difficult for you to be a person in, a size like me. There's a lot of things that I want to do. I want to live longer. I don't want to be all the time like this. I'm tired of being like this. I've been the majority of my life. I'm 32, and it's just insane how obese I am. I've been treating my body like it's, a piece of crap. All this eating has taken a toll on me, and I want to change that. So right now I am in, let me check my Fitbit right here. Excuse me, I get a little bit emotional. So right now I'm 376.2 pounds. And I want to, lose as much as I can. I want to change my eating habits. I want to treat my mental health because I went through a lot of stuff during my childhood and my teens that has affected me. Not too long ago I was diagnosed with depression as well because I started to cry. I don't know where I could be talking with somebody, normal, and then tears would come out of my eyes, and I was like, what the heck? And I went to therapy, and the therapist assessed me, and other than my social anxiety, I also starting to show symptoms of depression. And I want to change. I want to change my mental health. I want to change my physical health. But I want to fight that mental health because, that's where all the issues start. If I feel sad, I want to eat. And that's something that I want to stop completely. I want to stop binge eating, basically. So thank you for watching. I'm sorry if I'm not the most technical person or if my camera is not the best, as I'm filming this in my phone. But hopefully you'll find inspiration, and I apologize as well if I say some things that are not proper. Is because English is not my first language. Is actually Spanish, and I'm not saying things to offend anybody or obese people. I'm obese as well, and and I want to change. And if you want to join me as well, please do so. I'm gonna try and leave my Instagram below so you guys can follow me, and thank you for your support. Bye.